You are going to learn how to remodel this villager house into a more medieval look, and together we'll end up with something like this. I built this for a town that will become a fishing port in the storytelling world of Kaldheim. My very first step in this project was to actually find some source material. I found this picture of a mini medieval house and I really liked it. I saved the photo and started choosing materials for the build. I went with jungle spruce and mangrove for the walls and roof. I added some stripped spruce for the beams and some mud bricks for the chimney, and I got to building. Starting out, I demoed the old roof and cleared it away as I wanted to add a second floor for this build. I then began replacing the oak logs and cobblestones in the walls. Good riddance. No offense to Mojang, but they have so many more materials to choose from than just these. I heightened the wall slightly and extended the second floor out 2 blocks wider. At this point I realized that the building was actually very close to the hill and cleared away a lot of the dirt and stone that was in the way for the roof. Next I had the foundation for the second floor and started filling in more of the walls. After I started shaping the roof, which was extremely difficult. I wanted it to be concave like the reference, but to do that with the blocks was very tricky. I ended up using some double block drops and slabs in order to create this effect, and the end result blew me away. I filled in the sides and moved on to the chimney. Because I used walls to make the chimney look less blocky, I had the problem that the walls would connect to nearby blocks. In order to correct this, I used stairs which would not allow the walls to connect to them, and then filled in behind the chimney using the same color as the roof. The 3x3 chimney design allowed me to place a fire inside it, and the smoke looked really good for this chimney effect. With that done, I moved on to the windows of the second floor. I wanted them to be trimmed with spruce, but it was difficult to achieve this look with glass planes. So instead I opted for a false bulkhead and actually set the window panes 1 block in. This looked great. I tried some weird window designs on the first floor as well, but just opted for a 1 block design. Next I went to the water side and made a balcony using fence posts for supports. I added more fences for a railway and carved out an entryway into the house. I was so happy with this balcony, I actually just kept looking at it. Finally, I moved into the second floor and started to plan an actual layout. To start, I tried some chandelier designs, but ended up with this weird 1 block light that actually looked really good and was similar to the town hall lights that I used in the last video. At this point, I realized I forgot a window and started working on it. I found a place and reused the same designs from the first window I worked on. Now with the walls and windows complete, I began to flesh out a mud stove that would guide up to the actual chimney. I really like when a build actually makes sense and everything works kind of like how it would really work. Next to the stove, I added a full kitchen, complete with everything you need, a barrel and cake. A kitchen meant I had to have a table to eat at, and I used some slabs, signs, and trapdoors in order to complete a dining room table look. After dinner, I needed a place to relax, so I added some bookshelves and made a reading nook next to the window. Moving to the balcony, I hung a lantern with a chain and created a seating area with the same tricks from inside. On the coffee table, I added a book and a feather in order to mimic the look of a book and quill. Now it was time to work on the first floor, and about 10 seconds into this, I realized I made the worst mistake ever. I had no stairs and no ladder, no way to reach the second floor. I struggled to find any viable place for a staircase and ended up having to use a ladder. Blech. I moved back inside and began designing some bunk beds and desks for the villagers in town. Later I realized that the villagers wouldn't sleep in bunk beds and had to resort to bunks in the floor and reorganize the room a bit. I loved the way this little house looked. If you would change something, let me know in a comment, and please subscribe if you want to see more because I'm trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the month.